Okay.
What's the difference between cannabis and hemp?
Great question. I always tell people that they need to look at marijuana, cannabis, and hemp like an orange and a grapefruit. Okay, they're both citrus, but they're very different. So the way that the distinction now relative to the legal framework is if you have marijuana that has a content of THC, which is the psychoactive component that gets you high. If it has more than 0.3% of THC, it is considered marijuana or cannabis.
Okay.
If it has less than 0.3% and it came from the hemp plant, it is considered hemp. Those plants look very different. A marijuana plant is kind of squatty, bushy with giant buds on it. And I'm simplifying that certainly, but a hemp plant is very tall and spindly, also with buds on it, but not quite the look and feel of the cannabis marijuana plant. So they're cousins. One is high in THC and low in CBD, and the other is just the opposite, high in CBD, low in THC. And in order for you to legally sell the product across the country, ship it, the United States Post Office has a process and has written guidelines on shipping a CBD product. As an example, you get what's called a certificate of analysis for every batch that you produce. And that COA has all these percentages on it that I'm talking about. Whenever I ship something, as an example, I put my certificate of analysis in the shipping container so that if it is opened by the Postal Service, which it has been, they can pull out that documentation and quickly see what it is that I'm shipping, and the fact that that certificate of analysis in the box kind of alleviates them that I'm not illegally transporting something. And again, these products are shipped all over the country. Amazon ships hemp-based products. So it has been quite a journey, and very quickly we've seen how some of these major institutions like the Postal Service have gotten into the business and are understanding it in a different fashion.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. All right, so there's so much here. This is great. So for those that have, like, many people that know me know that I don't partake in it, and many people don't actually partake in it. But many people do. So for those that have like this moral issue around marijuana, what do you say about the benefits of marijuana, and then what would be some of the side effects of cannabis and hemp?
Let me answer that a little differently.
Okay.
Whenever I do my talks around the country, I start off with three major statements, and I'll tell you what those are. I tell the audience, I'm not here to change your religious convictions. I'm not here to change your political persuasions. What I'm here to do is provide you data and information. And what you do with that data is on you. But what I don't want you to say is that no one told you.
Good.
Because we have a tendency of being last to the party. And this is no exception based on what I have seen in my travels around the country and out of the country in terms of our participation. This is not Pookie smoking a joint on the corner. We are so past that. This is a mainstream product that is now being sold in GNC, Whole Foods, Sprouts Market, Sephora. All of these big name companies are using this platform and have introduced a new product into the marketplace. So for any of us who are sitting back, sidelined because of our political, our moral, our religious persuasions, I get it. And that's certainly your prerogative. But I would say that if you don't take a look at what this business is, if you don't have your college age kids take a look at what this business is, if you don't have your elderly parents take a look at the products. You know, my 96-year-old mother, until the day she passed, used this product, and I saw the relief that it gave her. So it's one of those things where you need to do your own research. You need to educate yourself. And at the end of the day, if you make the same decision that because of your beliefs or your convictions, you don't want any part of it, that's fine. But the purpose of this conversation that we're having today is to allow you to have an opportunity to understand.
Okay, so let's get into some of the benefits of cannabis and some of the benefits of hemp, because I was riding on a plane here, probably, I think I was headed to Texas. It was, I think, last year sometime. And I sat literally at the very last seat on the ride. And the very, very back, I was, I could hear the engine and all kinds of stuff. It was very noisy in the back. But I happened to sit next to a gentleman that said that he had dealt with cancer. He was in the service. And he actually used CBD oil. This was my first time ever hearing about CBD oil. He used CBD oil, and that helped, he said, cure his cancer. And he actually, it helped his situation with the cancer that he was dealing with.
Sure.
So what are some of the pros of using cannabis and using hemp and CBD oil and all of that?
So let me start by saying, and this is really important for your listeners as well, I am not allowed to tell you what this product may or may not do for you, particularly curing cancer, fixing your arthritis. It's illegal to do that. And you find that many companies will have those claims out there. According to FDA standards and otherwise, you're not allowed to say that. What I am allowed to tell you is the product has anti-inflammatory properties. It is great for whole body wellness. I get so many anecdotal pieces of information daily from people who use this product. I know that it works, but it's like anything else. The most common question I get is, if I'm to use CBD, how much should I use? That's not a question I can answer, because that would be like you asking me, I have a headache, how many aspirin should I take? For me, if I have a headache, I can take a baby aspirin and it's gone. For others, they might take 3 Motrin. And so I tell people, you have to experiment with the product. You have to figure out what dosage is working for whatever your ailment or malady or whatever your intention is. I also tell people there are tons and tons of studies. People call me, well, I have diabetes. Well, look up CBD and diabetes. It will tell you a lot of information that you might find familiar with your own situation.
So let me stop you right there and ask you. So you say they should look it up. Where should they go to look this information up? Should they just Google it, or is there a particular website?
Yeah, go to Google, put in CBD and diabetes. Put in CBD and I'm trying to go to sleep at night. Put in whatever it is that you're trying to do, and you'll find a plethora of information that comes back at you. And that is the best way for people to educate themselves. And certainly you have to sort out the good, the bad, and the ugly that's online. But there are some real important and major scientific studies that are out. If you go to CNN and you look up Dr. Sanjay Gupta, that they had weed session 5 just 2 Sundays ago. So you've got major news outlets that are reputable, and certainly Dr. Gupta is very reputable and has educated himself. He used to be so anti-cannabis, anti-everything associated with marijuana, and now he's come kind of full circle. And so there are ways for people to find out about this product. They have to be intellectually curious enough to do so.